Hi, Yarrow Kubrin Keller Williams, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about listing property. So, the market is really hot right now, and it is easier to be a seller than it is to be a buyer if you're marketed properly and you're priced right. Because of that, there are agents out there who will go to a listing appointment and tell their sellers that they don't have to do anything, they don't have to lift a finger, this is the easiest market in the world, I'm going to sell your home no matter what, don't do anything. Well, I have a very different approach, and my suggestion is very different. I believe that under the best scenario, when sellers go to sell a home, they should do the inspections. Well, wait a second. Haven't I seen your video about how the buyers are supposed to do all their inspections? Yes, it's true that it's a buyer's right and responsibility to create any inspections that they want during the due diligence period of their escrow. However, if you're listing a property, it is so much more valuable for you to get the inspections yourself before you list your property so that you know what the buyer is likely to discover once they buy your home. Okay? So you may not need to do every inspection available, but if you have a home and you're looking to list it, it would make a lot of sense for you to get a home inspection and a pest inspection, possibly a septic inspection, a well inspection if you have a septic system and a well, and possibly a roof inspection or some other supplemental inspections depending upon what the home inspection identified. Well, why should I spend $1,000 to $2,000, Yarrow, on reports in a market where I could sell anything if it's marketed correctly and it's priced right? Well, here's the reason why. Two main reasons. First of all, you're more likely to get an offer from a buyer if they don't have to take on the cost of your inspections or the inspections generated in escrow. Well, what do you mean? Well, twofold. Number one, say your buyer is out of area. If you already have all the inspections generated and I've uploaded them to the listing, then that buyer is going to feel a lot more comfortable writing an offer because you've pre-digested that information for them. Number two, say the buyer has fallen in and out of escrow a couple times for whatever reason. Maybe the appraisal didn't come back in, maybe they found something terrible, maybe halfway through they just decided it wasn't the right home for them. If a buyer has spent money on inspections in previous escrows, they get a little gun shy. Could have cost them a few $1,000s over the course of an escrow or two, and they may be hesitant to write an offer on a property knowing that there may be expenses related to that future escrow. So if the seller takes on those expenses, then a buyer's more likely to write. But here is the number one reason why a seller should get inspections for their property before they list and sell it with me. The reason is because once you're in an escrow, a buyer can generate reports or inspections, and they have the opportunity to negotiate over the findings of those inspections. And so what I tell my sellers is, let's eliminate the opportunity for a buyer to come back to you and try to take a chink out of your armor based upon your inspections by us taking on the inspection process and providing the buyer with the result ahead of time so that those no longer become points of haggling or trying to revisit the purchase price. So I think that sellers are much better positioned if they take on generating that information ahead of time, uploading that to the listing so that the agent, myself, can provide that to prospective buyers and buyers agents, and eliminate the opportunity for a buyer to come back and go, well, Mr. Seller, we found out this, this, and this, and that's not so great, so we're asking for you to reduce the price. So I always encourage sellers to provide at least the minimum of inspections because you're more likely to get more buyers, out-of-area buyers, and less haggling once you're in escrow than if you allow the buyer to generate all those